YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So let's get right into this video. So basically, if you're a chosen one, you know that you suffer more than the average, I put quotation marks on the average person, the worldly person. You just suffer more. You kind of have like this unrelenting suffering about your life. It's always like, there's always something going on, and you're just like, man, like, why can't I get a break? Like, I can never catch a break. So the sufferings that you face in your life and everything, the whole point of them is not only they make you stronger and they make you smarter. That's the whole point. Because every time, you probably already noticed this, you've gone through situations, and they could be millions of different situations, whether that's situations based off your health, situations based off finances, situations based off just bad experiences with people. So it's just any type of situation. And you've been going through this kind of like unrelenting suffering throughout your whole life, and it's just like you never knew why it happens. It's like, why do I have to do this? Well, like, why do I have to face these? So basically what God does, God isn't someone that just makes your life like easy. He doesn't just like make your life easy. He's a God that puts you through challenges. He's a God that puts you through storms. He's a God that puts you through lessons to learn. So, but all the suffering that you face, because you are chosen, because you are his anointed one, you go through a little bit more suffering than other people do. And this is why your life has always seemed like unfair. But at the end of the day, though, you've noticed that you've always gotten stronger, you became more resilient, and you became a lot smarter because of these. And this is the whole point of these struggles, because once you go through these like sufferings, these struggles, your life always just gets better at the end of it. Like once like that phase is over, once that storm is over, that season is over, then your life gets better. Then you go through another storm or season, and then your life gets even better. Then you just keep learning things and getting stronger. That's kind of like the curse, quotation marks, of a chosen one, because you can't live in ignorance, basically, because not only do you have wide open eyes and you see basically everything that's going on, because you have the gifts of the Holy Spirit, you have gifts of discernment, you have all these gifts. Because you're like this, you can't just live in ignorance. You've been seeing things through ever since you were a child. Like you've never really stayed like ignorant. You may have not known something, but all you had to do was see it for a little bit, then you already know like what it is, like what's going on, what's actually going on. So that's why your suffering is kind of like, it's kind of unrelenting. Like you're just like, why do I have to go through all these things? I don't see anyone else doing these things. It's because they don't walk the same path as you. They don't do the same things as, they're not meant to do the same things as you do. And because of that reason, that like you've been set apart and everything, you're kind of supposed to learn different things. This is why I say you have a warrior spirit to you, because you're made to be kind of like a warrior, like a spiritual warrior in a way. And you're still protected. You're protected by God, because you already know this, because I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've gone through challenges that are like basically impossible to solve by man. But somehow these challenges, you still got through them. So you have God on your side the whole time. You have God on your side the whole time. So no matter what you're going through, no matter how brutal it could be, no matter how unrelenting it is, no matter how negative it is, you never get crushed. You never crumble. You never just like fall off and just like completely. This is why your life has always kind of not made sense in a way, because you're kind of like, because I'm sure your life, if you're watching this video, your life isn't that bad. Like you have a house, you have a house to live in, you have a car, you have food, you have everything, right? So you probably think to yourself, you're like, why do I even go through all these struggles? Like my life isn't even bad. So just like I said in my last video, you go through like a spiritual world war in your life, and you go through either demonic attacks. You've probably had a lot of demonic attacks in your life. You've had people probably do witchcraft over your life. People try to just curse your life. People try to do all these bad things. You have demons on assignment in your life, trying to take your finances, trying to take your health, trying to take this, trying to take that, trying to just do all these petty things. But these demonic forces, or the spiritual warfare, they never truly prevail. Like they might prevail a little bit. They might take your finances for a little bit. They might take your health for a little bit. They might make you angry for a little bit. They might just do these little petty things, right? They're just kind of like pointless. But at the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, not only do you learn from these experiences, but God delivers you out of these experiences. And this is how your life has been going as a chosen one. You've always had phases in your life. Like one time your life is up like that, and then it crashes and burns. And then you learn, you go through like a season that's really tough. Then you learn a bunch of things, and your life goes back up. So you're like, okay, but then you go through another one. You have to learn something else, and you go through another kind of like season that's like really tough. You're like, okay, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then you learn from that season, then you go back up. Then you get stronger and smarter. Then you get another one. Then you get another season like that that's full of a lot of tough things, full of losses, full of negative things. You go through that, and then boom, again, your life goes back up. Your life. This is what God kind of does your whole life as a chosen one. He throws you basically in these situations, right? And you're protected the whole time. The reason the situations are so tough, whatever the suffering is there's many different forms. The reason it's so tough is because those battles are kind of with you and God. It's not just you. You're never alone with it. This is why you seem to come out of anything, and it kind of doesn't make sense how you get out of everything. So it's because God gets you out of these situations. God brings you out of these situations. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, all the suffering that you kind of endure, after, even though it seems for no reason, there's always something to be learned. You always learn something, and then once you learn that, once you kind of learn that lesson, like why this thing is happening, then it goes away. Then you get smarter because of it. Then you get stronger. And you probably notice that your life has basically forced you to like become strong. Like it's forced you from ever since you were a child when people were like hating on you, people were trying to like hurt you. Even like I talked about in one of my older videos, like ever since you were young, you've even had older people try to hurt you, like people that were way older. You've had a lot of this spiritual warfare. You've had a lot of this like negative stuff. God with a chosen one, God doesn't hold back into kind of exposing everything to you. He doesn't hold back with it because he knows you could handle it. He knows you can handle it, and he knows you won't turn like wicked or like evil because of it. So this is why you've always had a life that's been always kind of like everyth's always exposed to you, and it's stressful. Like it probably does hurt your mental health. You're like, what's going on? And like you're like, why can't my life just be like, you know, just smooth? Like why can't it just be smooth like all these other people? So for a chosen one, your life it'll never really be smooth. But at the end of the day, though, you learn things that are so valuable that you start to become miles ahead of these people. And this is not to feed your ego, but this is just true. You start to become miles ahead of these people. Like the things that you deal with, if other people deal with them, other worldly people, quotation marks, you know, if they deal with them, like they could fall into like suicide, or they could fall into like, you know, depressions. They could just get angry, and they don't know what to do about it. They'll start to curse God. They'll start to do like they couldn't handle these situations. Like there's too much weight. There's way too much weight. So for a chosen one, though, you already know you've always been super strong, and you don't have to look physically strong. You've always been super spiritually strong. You get a high spirit. You have an unbreakable spirit, basically. Your spirit can't break. It'll never break. Like even if you get mad for a little bit, you fall into like a depression for a little bit, it'll never last. Like it'll never be kind of like your life as a whole. Like you'll go through like these little phases, but at the end of the day, though, your spirit will raise up again, because that's what God does. God takes you through these situations. He sees how you react to them, and he basically calms down your spirit. He says, okay, like this is just something to learn. This is something to learn. Like you'll be all right and everything. But yeah, this is why your life always has been kind of like unrelenting in terms of suffering. Like you just had like a majority of your life has been suffering. It could be anything. It could just be a lot of battles that you had to face. Like it's been an uphill battle. It's been basically an uphill battle. It's kind of like you're in war. It's kind of like you're in a war. It's basically you. It's just you. Say you're the only soldier, right? You're the only soldier in this war. But you're fighting 1,000 people. You're fighting 1,000 people. That's how tough kind of your life is. Basically for no reason. For no reason, but it's not for no reason. There's a lot of things you have to learn. There's a lot of things to strengthen you and everything. There's just a lot of things to make you like a stronger person, a better person. That's what God does. So if you're truly a chosen one, you're purposed differently. Your purpose outside, you have a different purpose. All these things correlate with that purpose. They're all something to learn. So once you finally get in that purpose that you have, whatever that purpose is, you're kind of a master at it. Then you're like, you've seen everything through. Because there was a quote, I can't remember I can't remember the exact quote, but they said it was something along the lines as a master fails 1,000 times, but it was like something about a master failing a master becomes a master because they fail 1,000 times, right? So this is how your life has been. You've probably done a lot of different things. You get good at things really fast, but you probably failed at a lot of things. You probably faced a lot of battles that they're just extremely tough, but you've become a master at things. You become a master, whatever that is. That's how a chosen one's life goes. It's kind of like, because you're purposed by God, your whole life has to be with that purpose. So this is why it kind of doesn't make sense sometimes. You're like, hold up, like, why isn't my life like, you were probably like, why isn't my life kind of like, I have free will, but I kind of don't. It's like, I have it, but I kind of don't. That's how a chosen one's life is. You go through, if you're truly purposed for something else, God purposed you for something else, you're going to have to go through these situations. But at the end of the day, though, no matter how tough they are, you get stronger because of them, you get smarter, and then you get delivered from them. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I wanted to make this video because I feel like you guys need to hear this. I've heard a lot of comments. I've seen a lot of comments of people talking about like their sufferings and their just a lot of different things. And if you truly know that you're kind of destined for something else, you're a chosen one, you have a whole different purpose to you. If you truly know this, and you'll 100% relate to this, because your life has always been kind of different from everybody around you. It's always been different from every single person around you. Like, it didn't make any sense. You're like, hold up, like this, why is like my life full of so many battles? It's like I can't catch a break. It's like I don't have one battle or two or three or four. I have 10 different battles I have to face, and it doesn't make sense. So all this stuff is just to prepare you for whatever purpose God has for you. He just strengthens you, he gets you smarter, he gets you the skills, he gets you the tools, and once you're finally ready, then you go into that thing that you're destined to do. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And of course, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on those bells so you don't miss a video. Don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to comment below. All right, God bless you guys.